Alright, boys and girls, I just wanted to give y'all an update on the Bluetooth speaker. As you can see in the picture, there's a lot of clamping and clamping pressure that you have to do with welding it with the methylene chloride. These are random cut pieces that were going to be thrown away. I didn't really know what to do with them. I didn't feel they're half-inch polycarbonate, probably expensive stuff, I'm not sure. But I hated to see them thrown away, so they were all random pieces, and this is how it evolved into the shape you see right here. I really didn't have any big pieces, just the top and bottom, and that's the biggest I could get them out of. So that's the way it started. Now this thing evolved itself as I went along with it. Now you can see the crossovers and the batteries being installed. You look at the very bottom, there's a passive radiator speaker goes in that hole that you really don't see too much of. The fluorescent looming and the fluorescent acrylic going in. I figured why not use that? Put some ultraviolet lights in it, give it a little bit of bling. And it welds beautifully right down to the polycarbonate the acrylic does. So, and that's with methylene chloride. The laptop batteries I got out of natural, naturally a laptop. I don't suggest doing that. They're dangerous. They could catch fire. So you just buy your 18650s. That's the head unit for the Bluetooth decoder in the front, which I'm going to update on that. Now that's the buck converter. The Shure Audio runs off 25 to 30 volts. Everything else runs off 12 volts. So instead of running at high voltage, I just used a buck converter to get the voltage up for the Shure Audio unit. So it's adjustable, I believe, from 12 to 32 or something like that. And I'm only running the Shure Audio on 25 volts right now because I don't need to get a full 100 watts. You have to run it up to 35 volts. Now the little screw on the back, variable resistor on the back or whatever that may be, that's how you up and down the voltage to adjust it. Very cheap, $4. Now these are the Cerwin Vega kit speakers. I bought mine for $29. The kit's for sale right now for $25. They sound really good too, by the way. You get a pair of what you see there. Now the head unit that I got on it now, the Bluetooth decoder, that one, I get a bad noise from the system whenever I go to Bluetooth or something like that. So I'm going to change it over with a newer one, and that one was $7. But I had it laying around the shop. This one's $18. Looks a little fancier, might not be, but if it does have a diagram with it that's showing a bridge rectifier and a filter and capacitor. Now, if it's not in the unit, I will make the bridge rectifier and the filter capacitor. I'll put that in line anyhow, so that should eliminate any hiss or anything out of that one. So the video you're going to see at the end is the actual end result of it. And like I said, that's the Shure Audio unit. There's a UV meter. Bought those as kit form for like $4 a piece off of eBay, and everything was bought off of eBay. And tried to do it under $100. These big fancy Bluetooth speakers that you see on the market now are just super expensive. And I really couldn't afford one. I said, well, let me just try to make one and see how it sounds. And when you make something like this, you're not sure how it's going to sound. You hate to do a video on it if it sounds like, garbage. But this one actually did sound really good. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and hit like. And if you have any comments, leave them in the section below. And y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Yeah, we do a little follow-up here. This is a Bluetooth speaker. These right here are the Cerwin Vega kit speakers that I'm going to post a link or a picture to them. Very inexpensive.
I bought them at 29. Now they're 25 for the set. This is the head unit that does the Bluetooth unit and the USB, micro SD, AUX, and it's also Bluetooth. But I'm changing it. I'm going to show you a picture of that one, a link to it. I'm going to show you a picture and a link to the one that I'm going to change over to, because this one here I get a noise to it. This is a Shure Audio, 100 watt per channel, 35 bucks, 39 bucks. I'm going to post a link to that too. Fluorescent looming, you can buy that several places online. Right here, these are UV meters, and they're kit, and they're mounted down there. Let me cut it on, and you can see them down there, and you can see the other one down there. They're kit. I think they were like $4 or $5. They're not expensive. You have to put them together though. So I said, well, let me just put extension leads on them and use ultraviolet lights, just like the ones in the back. Now the ultraviolet LED light strip was done for me by a guy right here in Louisiana, in Alexandria, and did a very nice job. That's when I started messing around with the acrylic, because the case itself is put together with methylene chloride. It's half-inch thick polycarbonate, very high density. This was a scrap piece that was being thrown away, and this thing just kind of evolved as I started doing it. On the very bottom, you have a Polk Audio passive radiator, which it doesn't do anything. It just catches the reflex off of the speakers, or the internal pressure of the speakers. When you put something like this together, is it going to sound good or not? It looks good, does it sound good, stuff like that. Now there's the battery pack right there. That is probably what you would call a 3P3S, and what it is 9 18650 batteries, 3 in parallel, and the 3 packs in series for 12.6 volts. So, and this, the Shure Audio amplifier works from 20 to 35 volts if I'm not mistaken. It's only going to achieve 100 watts per channel, only at up to around 36 volts. Well, everything else in here runs off of 12 volts. This runs off 12 volts, the lights run off 12 volts. So what I did was I put in a buck converter, which will up the voltage from the batteries to run this. So the beauty of that is you can cut it down to 25 volts. It's a D-class amplifier. If you read about D-class amplifiers, they only reach really good high fidelity at half volume. So I can get this down to 25, and I can get a good decent volume without overdriving anything at half volume and start getting high fidelity out of it. Now the charger is a plain Jane universal smart charger. It'll do 14.8, 11.1, 7.4, and 3.2 at 1 amp. The only thing I regret after building it, and if I ever take the batteries out, I will change that. It will charge up to 1 amp max, or actually whatever the batteries need. It does a nice job. We've got a hookup on the back here where the volume is. It's not pretty, but it works. That's the off and on switch. So now when we get down to brass tacks here, I see all these really big, pretty, big Bluetooth systems. Now I've got a Boom Bottle Mini, a Boom Bottle H2O. I take the H2O in my kayak when I go fishing. It worked really good. But if you're sitting there, you want something. I was just playing around with this and really didn't know what to do with the polycarbonate stuff I had. Like I said, this thing evolved over a period of time. When I realized that I could take methylene chloride, weld it all together, and I said, well, I can weld methylene chloride acrylic to it. So that's when I started buying the fluorescent. And like I said, none of that stuff's very expensive. I bought a piece of tubing. This is what the UV meters are in, and you can see them flicker as I turn it on. We're going to give it a little test drive. We're going to be playing music that I have to generate on my music program because of copyright, naturally. Don't want to piss anybody off. You're also going to have a voltage meter. And this is another reason, another regret I have with building this thing. I don't have a battery protection circuit in it. The next batteries that go in it, I'm going to use 12 18650s, and that'll be 4P3S, and it'll be 4 packs of 3 in series to make 12 volts, just a lot more runtime. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It'll be 3P 4S. Anyway, you get my point on it. I think that's the reason I went with 9 and not 12. Now that is an old laptop battery. You go online, you find a laptop battery that is a brand new laptop battery to a real crappy laptop that they don't make anymore or nobody wants anymore. The batteries are brand new. You can pick them up for $9, but you have to take them apart. Now that's what I did. Am I suggesting you do that? Absolutely not. If you short them out, they're going to flare up in your face, blow up in your face or whatever. So don't do that. Just buy 9 18650 batteries. But what I did, I got them out of an old laptop battery. The reason I've been asked, if I'd sell this to somebody or anything like that, the reason I won't do it, you're in 1/2-inch polycarbonate, basically bulletproof glass. If these batteries ever go critical, I'm sure it'll blow out through the speakers first, but it wouldn't be nice, and you wouldn't want to be anywhere around it if they do go critical. So that's the reason I got the voltage meter on there, to make sure that I don't run them below 9 volts. Now, I was thinking the buck converter would stop working at 10 volts, which it doesn't. It keeps working all the way up. Ran it down to 9 volts, and it charges right back up pretty. So the buck converter is like $4. I think it was like $9 for 2 of them. Very inexpensive. This whole thing was not very expensive at all. What do you say we, and it looks quite stylish, and whenever all the lights and everything are lit up, it looks quite nice. So, what do you say we give it a test? Alright, like I said, this is my music. When I do my high-speed videos, this is music. One of the tracks I play from music I generate from a software, music making software, so I don't infringe anybody's copyright. We won't want to do that. So this is mine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jog it through here, through the modes, and I'm going to jack the volume up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. We got so much going on right now. This is New Year's Eve here in Gramercy. I'm sorry, Christmas Eve here on Gramercy, and this is when we do the bonfires. But I think you can hear that hum. That's the reason I'm changing over to the other one. Now that's the radio station, or the FM radio. It does do FM radio too. So, alright, so now we're going to go to I just turned it off. Alright. Alright. Now with all the noise, the dogs and everything barking, I tell you what else I'm gonna do. Pretty loud, and I'm not sure. That's only on 20. It goes to 30, but I'm gonna give it a quick 30 here, and that's gonna be it. So that's it. It sounds pretty gnarly, and it sounds very good, and it looks quite nice. Remote makes it quite nice, but another thing I did wrong. I got a couple of these are fired properly. I got some of these, that one's dead, and then I got these